Chick on Instagram, and I did post a really cool picture on Instagram yesterday. Oh, my nose itches. Somebody's talking about me. But what I did yesterday was I took all of the Alice's that I finished this year, and one that I finished last year. Well, no, I took all the ones that I did this year, and I took I took the edges off of them, and I put them all in one place up here. Let me see if I can show you guys. Here, let's show you guys. It is on Instagram for you guys to see, but look over that way. Let's see. Oh, let's turn the ring light off. There. So you can kind of sort of see it back there behind the ring light. Hold on. Yep. That's my wall of Alice. So, because I'm going to finish more Alice paintings. All right, let's put the light back on. Let's put this down on the table. Oh, goodness. Not quite. Oh, sorry, I'm making you guys dizzy. But I thought you would want to see it. Yes. So I got a few steps in yesterday. I don't know, about 4,500. Nothing great, but today, it's Wednesday, hump day. I got to go into the office. Yeah. As you know, Monday and Tuesdays I work from home. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I go into the office. So this is my office attire. Yeah. So in the mail I got my Oh Christmas Tree cross stitch pattern, and gosh, it doesn't look bad at all. So, but it calls for one color, olive green, which if there were any color in the world I probably hated most, it would be olive green. So we're going to do this more in an evergreen green, and where you see like ornaments and birds and things like that. We're going to, the plan for this stitch along is that we use threads that are left over in our stash and put some color into it. Yeah. Anyway, this is a stitch along that is going to start in September on Shalene's Creativity Room channel. So look up Shalene's Creativity Room. If I remember, and I've been trying lately, really trying hard, I will put the link in the description to Shalene's channel. So that starts in September. Now I just have to decide. I'm not going to suggest that you do it on linen. I don't do anything on linen. I have a roll of white 14 count Aida. Since I already have it, I'll probably use it. Yep. Anywho, let's diamond paint. See, I am into this section right here, the bottom part of the hot air balloon. Got to do some color blocking there with the white. Oh, so pretty, isn't it? We got the little character here. I got to fill him in. Her, him, her, they, them. I don't know which it is. All right, let's turn the light pad on. Do 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 do. Ooh. So yesterday I was on the phone with Cheryl, and I had the painting covered up, but you know, she was helping me through do some loom knitting, teaching me some more advanced stitches. And I had my yarn here, so now I'm picking some yarn off of the, and it doesn't look too bad because, like I said, I had, for the most part, this was covered up, so I think we're okay. So yeah, today, this evening, 6 p.m. Central Time is Craft With Me Wednesday. I will be continuing to do loom knitting. Last week was kind of a disaster. Since I started that project last week, I have frogged it 3 times. That's why I was on the phone with Cheryl. I'm like, help! So we figured out a way for me to keep track of the stitches that I was doing, because it's a 2 and 2 pattern, and I was getting confused. Where did I leave off? What, you know, and so we figured it out. I started over, so you'll see my progress tonight. And then if I get to this certain part, this other advanced stitch. She's going to join us in the live and walk me through that as well. Yeah, and then we'll catch up on whatever's going on, you know. Yeah, because there's always stuff going on. Yep. Oh, cat capers. I liked that name. You know, the woman that suggested that name, the subscriber, said, you know, they're not going to be kittens for long. So, and she's right. So I thought, well, that's a cute name, cat capers. So we're going to have some cat capers right now. See, you got to get your morning fix in, cat capers. So, new hat. I just finished this up. This is, what's it called? Sunset. Let me go get it. I have an extra skein of it. Yes. It's Sunset Nights Lion brand, and it is a 90% acrylic, 10% polyester. It's a 4-way, and it's got sequins in it. I don't know if you can see the sequins. So here's the hat. What I did was I started in the middle. So there's not a lot of this darker color in the hat. You can see that towards the end I was getting into the darker color. But here's the hat. I don't know if you can see. And then the middle part really didn't have a lot of sequins, which that's okay. So it wasn't until I started getting into the color portion that you could see the sequins. Isn't that cool? Now this is the exact same hat that I made for my daughter when she was here. But I made hers out of the Comfy Cotton blend so that she could wear it now. My guess is that it's probably still in her suitcase. She probably hasn't even unpacked yet, because that's, you know, she's like her mother. She's a procrastinator. Anyway, I like the brim, but I can't get it even. Okay, it's fine. What is God? It's weird that it didn't get into the red until right here. But anyway, I love my hats. Anyhow, let's diamond paint. It has been so gosh darn hot. Yesterday, I was in here diamond painting and working, and I had to bring the fan in here. that once I brought the fan in, it was super comfortable in here. So I did get a lot done. So I think from now on when I work at home, for some reason, the kittens don't come in here. I don't know why. They don't come in here. They'll go as far as inside the kitchen. Now, as soon as I say that, they'll be in here. I don't know why. They just they like to play around in the living room now with the dog, as you can see. And Tootsie is just thrilled that they are entertaining her. Stitch has taken a liking to me. He just wants to cuddle with me all the time. And Pearl just kind of wants to play and hang out with Tootsie. She loves Tootsie. It's really funny. I am really enjoying these animals. So another subscriber warned me, don't let, the dog eat the cat food. It's harmful for them. So I did look that up, and that is correct. They said it's apparently if the dogs eat too much cat food, it can cause gastrointestinal problems because of the amount of fat and protein that are in cat food versus what would be dog food is mostly carbohydrate. But that used to be the case. But I actually give Tootsie a high protein diet anyway. Hers, she has chicken, salmon, pumpkin. I try to stay away from a lot of the grains and the corn and things like that because Jake used to be very allergic to corn. So the dog foods that I buy are low in carbohydrates. So, but I did put the cat dish, the food dish up out of the way. So hopefully she can't get it. Tootsie's very clever. She might be able to get it. I don't know. She's like a cat. She'll find a way, You think it's out of her way, and then you look and it's not. So we'll find out. And she's very sneaky about when she's eating the cat food. And usually the cats have eaten most of it. Like there'll be just a tiny bit left in the dish. And she'll wait till like I'm in here or, preoccupied. And yeah, I think that's when she's doing it. She's clever, that Tootsie. Yes, she is. Let's talk about what national day is this. Today is national, and there was only one day to choose from. This is it, National Fudge Day. So what is it, the 16th today? The 16th, hold on. Yeah, June 16th. National Fudge Day, only thing to choose from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link up here, and yeah, up here, not in the description, right there, to Billie's fudge recipe. Billie's Crafting Lounge, he's another crafter. If you haven't seen his show, check him out. He goes live on Fridays. He's really sweet. He's a sweetheart. He lives in California. Anyway, he makes his own fudge. So he was kind enough to film it for us. And so I will put that video up here. It's super simple to make. He puts marshmallow, caramel, and nuts in his, I think. But you can do anything. You can make it any flavor you want. I've done his recipe and I've put some peanut butter swirl into it. I've done it with marshmallows. For some reason, I've never had any caramels around to stick that into the fudge. I would like to try that though. So what is your favorite flavor of fudge? Yeah. So apparently fudge maybe originated, they don't really know where it originated, but it became very popular in Michigan. This town in Michigan, let me see if I can find the name of the town. National Fudge Day. Okay. In Mackinac Island, Michigan, in the late 19th century. Um, Products such as Vassar College Fudge, they sold it to summer vacationers, and it was a huge hit. Well, and who doesn't love fudge? Oh my gosh. I think I've told you guys many times that only like 2 blocks from the hospital is this place called the Nifty Nut House. It's got all kinds of nuts, all kinds of candy, and this huge selection of fudge. So in celebration of National Fudge Day, go out, buy some fudge, make some fudge, enjoy some fudge. There you go. Am I going to do that? Nope. Mainly because it's the Wednesday before payday. I don't need to be eating fudge with my gorgeous figure. I could live without it. I like it. But if I make a batch of fudge, I got to eat the whole thing. Not in one sitting, but I will eat the whole thing. It might take me a week or two, but I'll eat it. And by the end of that couple of weeks, it's like, no more fudge. So anyway. Okay, I think I'm done with this color for now. All right, we're going to put it aside. Oh, I found one more. Of course you did. Isn't that always the way? Okay, now we're going to go to this color here. Let's just put the lid on that. All righty. Now, if you love these trays, there is a link in my description to the trays. Wilson's 3D Designs. Okay, let's talk about Judge, Jerry, and Journey. Oh my goodness. So, I don't even know what day we're on. I've lost track of the days. So we heard from Wendy Adelson yesterday. Wendy Adelson. Okay. Oh, now we get to start with the boyfriend. Wendy's boyfriend. Yes. Now this is the guy that she was just friends with during the latter part of her dating, during the latter part of her marriage to Dan Markell. They were just friends, but after they separated, he became more than friends. Actually, I don't think she started dating this guy until after she was divorced. And he mentions that, like, on their first date, and even into the second date, she talked about how not being able to relocate. He said she was very bitter about it. Very bitter, to the point that she's on a first date with this guy, and that's what she's talking about. Now, remember her testimony. Oh, no, I love Tallahassee. I love my job. Yeah. Apparently not. Now, his testimony is so interesting. They were supposed to go on a trip the week of the murder. On July 13th, they had gone out, and they had actually gone away for the day. They had gone out of town. He had taken her out of town. He's also an FSU, not a law professor, but a professor of social work. But he's an FSU professor. He had a business engagement out of town, so the kids were with Dan, so she goes out of town with him, and he mentions to her that, actually this was the end of June. He mentions to her that, he thinks she's seeing other people. See, at one point they were not exclusive, then they became exclusive. At least he was exclusive, is what he's saying. He doesn't believe that she ever was exclusive. So he brings this up while they're out of town, and they argue about it. And she denies, no, I'm not seeing anybody. And he's like, I know you are. Apparently saw her with somebody. Then they're out of town on July 3rd. No, they were supposed to go out of town the 11th through the 17th of July. So anyway, on July 13th, they're having a conversation. She cancels the trip. She says, I can't go. And she's super nervous that, she's having dinner with him, and he said she was, he was at her house and the boys were there, and he says he never spends the night when the boys are there, but she was really nervous to the point where her stomach was upset. And she mentions that her brother had said many times, during the whole, during the portion of the divorce litigation where she's trying to take the kids to South Florida and Dan is trying to keep them in Tallahassee, her brother mentions that it would cost him $15,000 to put a hit out on Dan. Now, the boyfriend, Mr. LaCasa, says, well, I don't know if she said 15 or 50, because she just quickly changed the subject and the conversation moved on. And he eventually went and got her some medicine and came back and brought it to her. Then on July 14th, he gets an email saying that, like, they went on another date on the 14th. He gets home from the date and gets an email from her saying, I need time to think. I need a week to think. Don't contact me. So he took that to mean that the relationship was over. So what happens, between the end of June, when they have this fight about her being not exclusive, he takes her out of town. They return back to town. She leaves and goes to South Florida for 2 weeks, which includes July 1st. And then, so she's there for her father's birthday. So she comes back, and this is when things happen on the 13th and the 14th. Now, I don't know if you'll recall, but Dan Markel is killed on the 18th. So they were supposed to go out of town on the 11th through the 17th. She cancels. And then on July 14th, she sends him this email that not to contact her for that week. She needs time to think. Don't contact me. I need a week to think. And he was supposed to go out of town on the 18th. He was scheduled to go out of town on the 18th at 11 o'clock. He had a flight at 11 o'clock. And the only person that knew his plans to go out of town was Wendy Adelson, his girlfriend. Well, after he sees his email and they don't take their trip, he decides he's going to drive. He's going to leave early. He had to go to Tennessee. He leaves the night before. But when Wendy Adelson finds out about the murder during her police interview, she names LaCasa as a suspect, saying, well, he left town at 11, making it look like he committed the murder and then was going to flee. But he was able to prove through surveillance. He had stopped at a Kmart and he stopped at some other places. So he was able to prove that he had left the night before. I mean, this woman is clever. Oh my gosh. Setting up her boyfriend to take the fall. Oh my God. And some interesting testimony was, Wendy when she was on the stand, oh no, I'm not familiar with cars. I don't know. I know he had a nice car. I don't know if it was a Ferrari or what it was, but so her boyfriend testifies that she mentioned many times that her brother had a Ferrari. Then there's this interesting testimony about this date that they go on. He goes to South Florida to meet her parents, and he goes out to dinner with Charlie Adelson, the brother, and one of the defendants, Catherine Magbanua, who was Charlie's girlfriend. So the four of them are having dinner at this outdoor, at the outdoor portion of this restaurant. So the defense attorney on cross-examination is like, did you see him get up and leave the table frequently? Was he perspiring? Did you see him sniffling? And then finally he just asked him, did you see him do any cocaine? No. So apparently they all go back to Charlie's house and they sit in the hot tub and hang out for a while. So did you see him leave the hot tub and go to the bathroom? And he's like, well, we were there for quite a while. All of us left the hot tub at one point or the other. And no, I didn't see him do any drugs. But apparently this boyfriend, Professor Lacasa, got the impression that he said Charlie was very braggadocious about being, having these sort of gritty type friends. He had his work persona, and then he had this other kind of persona, and he was very braggadocious about it, and that's his words. And he did present himself to kind of being on both sides of the track. I thought that was pretty interesting. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay. So now the jury gets to ask questions. The jury asked Professor Lacasa I forget what the question was, but his answer was that she was always talking about the divorce. She was always talking about hating Tallahassee. He said she didn't talk much about moving the kids, about relocating back to South Florida after it became very clear that she wasn't going to be allowed to do that. But she was always talking about the divorce and always talking about the fact that she hated Tallahassee. So, really interesting testimony. Then we get the testimony of Stephen Lutz from J.P. Morgan Chase. He is there to authenticate camera footage from an ATM in Pembroke Pines, Florida, which is South Florida. It's a little area that's just west of Fort Lauderdale, kind of southwest, north of Miami, west of Fort Lauderdale. And on the camera footage, you see the Prius pull up to this drive-through ATM. Now you can see the driver making a transaction, and there are two people in the vehicle. This is at 6:45 p.m. on the 18th. So this is hours after the murder. This car is back in South Florida. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Then we get the Tallahassee Police Department Sergeant Corbett on the stand. He is there to put into the record. He does cell phone analysis, and we're going to hear from him quite a bit. He's going to be on and off the stand because they're trying to do things chronologically with the testimony here. So he actually used, as part of his analysis, the cell phone records for Harvey Adelson, Wendy Adelson, Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, Sigfredo Garcia, Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanua, and Dan Markel. So he was able to get all of those records of the cell phones. Then he was also able to get all the tower dumps from around the Premier Gem and Dan Markel's residence and a few other places. He said at 11:42, the day of the murder, at 11:42, there's a call from Wendy to Dan Markel that goes to voicemail. Well, of course it went to voicemail. He was dead already. I don't know why she was trying to call him. We already know that she's driven up on she drove up on the crime scene. It was after 11:42. So she makes that phone call before she drives up to the crime scene tape. Because she drove up to the crime scene tape around 12:40-ish. And then he was able to track her cell phone from where and show the route that she took to go to this liquor store. Now, it's really interesting when you see this route. So her house is way up here. She travels all the way down here, past Dan's house, realizes she can't go that way, goes a different way, ends up at the ABC liquor store. Then she has to drive all the way around, back up towards her home to go to this restaurant for lunch with a friend. And what they mentioned was, right near this restaurant, there's 3 liquor stores. So why did she have to go all the way down past Dan's house, where we know she drove up to the crime scene tape, then go to this liquor store that was even farther than that, and then go all the way back towards her home to go to this restaurant? Makes no sense. Then there was a incoming call to Harvey Adelson from Sigfredo Garcia's phone. And when because they didn't have Sigfredo Garcia's phone records at this point, he's analyzing Harvey Adelson's phone. He sees there's this call from this number, Sigfredo Garcia, that comes back to this Sigfredo Garcia. So then he subpoenas Sigfredo Garcia's records, and that's when he sees that he's in the location of the tower. He's in the tower dump records from around the Premier gym. So super interesting testimony. Then the other thing this guy testifies to is that he does these frequency reports, like who are the most, of these phone records, who do these people speak to the most? Well, Sergio Garcia overwhelmingly spoke to Catherine Magbanua the most, and which is understandable. That's the mother of his children. Now, Catherine Magbanua's phone, the guy that she frequently called the most, or the person she frequently called the most, was Charlie Adelson. And vice versa. When he analyzed Charlie Adelson's phone, the person he called the most was Catherine Magbanua. And they, not just phone calls, text messages, things like that. What else? One on this frequency report, on Sigfredo Garcia's frequency report, because right now we just have Sigfredo Garcia's name. The most frequent person was Catherine Magbanua, but the next one down was Luis Rivera. So he was one of the top calls in Garcia's phone. So now they have Luis Rivera's name. So now they get Luis Rivera's phone records, and that's and then they figured out that he, when they cross-referenced those to the tower dump records from the Premier gym, found out he was also in the Tallahassee area, in the area of the gym. So that's how we put these 2 South Florida guys in the area of the Premier gym at the same time frame that Dan Markel is inside working out. Yep. Now we're going to hear from this guy some more, because there's way more analysis of these phone records that we haven't heard. So the next witness on the stand, drum roll, is Luis Rivera. He's going to take the stand. So tomorrow, that is what I will bring you, the testimony of Luis Rivera, who we know is going to turn state's evidence and testify against Sergio Garcia, Catherine Magbanua, Charlie Adelson. I don't know why these Adelsons aren't on trial for this. I really don't. I'm just stymied by this whole thing. And are they going to charge Wendy Adelson with perjury? I wish they would. My goodness, she was lying about so many things, and we haven't even gotten to the half of it. Super, super interesting case. Yeah, so who wants to go to work for me today? There's a fly. A fly. Okay. This day in history, in 1884, on Coney Island in New York, the first roller coaster in the country is open. And they called it the Switchback Railroad. 1884. Now, to this day, modern day, there's a roller coaster there called the Cyclone. But when this first roller coaster opened, the Switchback Railroad, it went 6 miles an hour versus the Cyclone that's there now that goes 60 miles an hour, 60. Yeah, the first roller coaster went 6 miles an hour, but it was a huge hit. It cost a nickel to ride. So you could go to Coney Island, and for a nickel, you could get a hot dog, which they believe originated in Coney Island. You could get a Coney Island hot dog. You could ride the roller coaster. Sound like a lot of fun. But, you know, Coney Island went through a lot of, it went through a time of deterioration and then restoration. So it's now been restored. It's got this huge Cyclone roller coaster. But the first roller coaster in America was this Switchback Railway. It was the brainchild of LaMarcus Thompson. Instant success. Now, it was wooden. I prefer not to go on a wooden wooden roller coaster. I have done it, but I'm not a fan because it shakes and it's rickety and you just feel like it's just going to come apart. But I get that's part of the thrill, I guess. I don't know. No, thank you. Oh, guys, so that is the show for today. I'm going to go see what the kittens are destroying while I've been in here doing the show. I'll also have physical therapy today. Oh, yeah, that's always fun. That is always fun and exciting. Do, 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 do. All right, guys. I will see you tonight, 6 p.m. Central. Crop with Me Wednesday. We'll be loom knitting, but we'll also be chit-chatting and having a good time. So I love you all. Well, if not, I'll see you tomorrow on The Warrior Show.